Hello everyone, my name is Akai Fox and this is a painting video. Today's painting is a little special to me as it is a gift for a friend who is trying to build a frog wall. Now this is another content creator. Her name is Awkward Monsters. She's an amazing human and a lovely friend. And I had the opportunity to meet up with her and another friend in our community by the name of the Planty Gamer. And we spent a weekend together in Colorado because Awkward Monsters was moving from Colorado to California and would be one of the last times we had a chance to hang out with all of us together before she had moved away. Now, this specific frog came up because, again, she wants to make a frog wall where she collects different frogs of all shapes, sizes, and media. So it could be paintings, it could be clay, it could be crochet, it could be whatever your heart desires. But she wanted something from both Planty and I so that she could add this to her frog wall from all sorts of different content creators. So I was very excited to do this because I had an idea. I wanted to challenge myself to create this frog without using the color green. So a little spoiler, I'm sure you already saw the thumbnail, but we will be painting this frog without any green colors. There is a teal, but that is the closest you'll get. So I had a couple images and references to get the shape and the sketch of the frog. And yes, I'm aware the eyes do somewhat look like smiley faces. But at the end of the day, I was very happy with how it turned out. I wanted it to be a little more on the cute side. And then we began to paint. Now, the painting process, I had drawn some inspiration from a previous painting I had done with some succulents, where again, I avoided the color green. So it was very vibrant. There were a lot more warm colors than they were cool. And it just kind of brought a lot of depth and warmth to it. I was strategic in the way that I wanted the heart, I guess, of the frog to have this gradient from yellow to orange to kind of a red into the pink, so it just kind of gave that almost heat thermal gun, if you will, and to then go over. And I was very tactful about trying to make sure that each of the limbs and different spots on the frog tried not to ever repeat if possible. And I wanted each of the feet to have different colored toes. So, you know, the left toes, if you will, the left leg has kind of purple and blue toes, and then one of the other ones has an orange. And so I was just trying very hard as I painted all of this to find different connecting colors, you know, having an orange touching a purple or having a red touching the teal. And so it was just trying to be mindful and trying to put it all together without it seeming like it's just one giant gradient. That was something I wanted to avoid. It could have easily been we started with yellow and we just moved outwards in the pattern sense of Roy G. Biv, right? Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet, for those of you who are not familiar with Roy G. Biv. But I didn't want to do that. I wanted it to have a lot of distinct patterns and colors, and so I'm very happy with how it turned out overall. And I found that the reds really didn't quite give the color vibe, and so a lot of the reds I went back over with more of a magenta, and it just ended up being such a fun little project. Now, I do these live, and as I was painting this, I asked my community, what should we name him? And there were quite a few different really good suggestions that were thrown out, but ultimately we all decided that Hopkins is his name. And so Hopkins will now live with our friend on their frog wall. And as I finish up the rest of the colors, to speak on the eyes, I did a really dark brown and a black because I wanted to make sure that the eye color really popped against the different vibrant colors. And so with this really dark brown, it's that color shift between kind of a brown and a black. And luckily I had enough of my metallic black to then complement. So you'll see me actually go back over the black to just, again, really make sure that it all pops and has kind of a little bit of a shimmer. I don't know that you can see it here in the video as much, but it definitely has a little shimmer to it. Now, as I go in for the background, I wanted to make sure that this frog looked like it was getting its portrait taken. And so I go in and I make sure that there are plenty of brush strokes and texture because I wanted it to really emulate that photography background. And you know, when you get your portrait taken in front of some of those standard backdrops, I wanted it to kind of emulate some of that. So we're just coming in with a whole bunch of texture and just making sure we get it as close to without going over the frog itself. Now, as we talk about the outlining process, I have learned that I do not enjoy painting letters or outlines if I can help it in general, and so I may need to shop around for a different type of paint pen, but I do really enjoy using a paint pen instead of actually painting each of the lines. I find that they just have a better consistency, and again, when I sign my artworks, it allows me to easily be able to use my signature there. I did also make sure to add kind of a casted shadow because I did want it to seem like our frog is getting his portrait taken. But one of the things with the paint pen itself is I have to be very conscious of working as much as I can from left to right, because if I put my hand down, it can sometimes smear. And this particular paint pen also does not like to deal with anything that is wet paint, but something to look at in the future. So this is how it turned out. I'm very happy overall with how Hopkins turned out and happy for my friend. So thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like or a comment. They both very much help support our channel. And just I hope you all have a wonderful weekend.